Welcome back everyone, and thank you for choosing my video. Today we are going to be talking about something that I found really interesting and was requested by one of my best friends: haunted dolls. Now, there are a lot of haunted dolls around the world, but I've did my best to try and find some lesser known dolls. Although I'm pretty sure there are a few that you guys have already heard about. First off, we have a doll named Ruby. Ruby is unlike most haunted dolls. She's not a harbinger of that. She only wishes to feel the love and comfort of another. Believed to be over 100 years old, the porcelain doll had been passed down across generations. Her true owner was a young girl who tragically passed away with the doll in her arms. A kind soul the girl imprinted on Ruby, giving herself the chance to remain on our plane of existence. Unlike her more demonic and malevolent counterparts, Ruby doesn't harbor ill will against the living. After the young girl passed on, Ruby remained within the same family for generations. And although it was common for anyone who had her to feel ill and exhausted, it's not unthinkable that the young girl's spirit was siphoning energy to allow her the strength to move about on her own and emit unexplainable sounds. No one has ever knowingly been injured by the doll, and more recent accounts suggest that there was more to it than initially thought. Now, part of the traveling museum of paranormal and occult, anyone who happens to pick up and hold Ruby is said to feel a maternal wave rush over them, as if the young girl's spirit is reaching out in search of a mother to take her home. Next up, we have a doll named Okiku. This Japanese curiosity may have you checking the length of any doll hair in your home. Whose legend begins with a teenager, Aikichi, purchasing the traditional Japanese doll for his 3-year-old sister, Kikuko. It was a simple act of kindness between siblings, and there was nothing truly remarkable about the doll when Kikuko first received it. It was only after the young girl's sudden passing from a cold that the aura around the creepy doll shifted. Poor Kikuko loved the doll and was often seen carrying it with her. It's not unthinkable that she would remain a part of the object. The family held on to the doll as a way to remember their daughter, often praying to it to ensure Kikuko found peace in the afterlife. The longer the family held on to the haunted doll, though, the more they realized the original Okapa hairstyle had been growing longer, an impossibility for the inanimate object. They immediately believed that the sweet girl's soul was attached to the doll. They kept the doll for themselves, feeling connected to Kikuko's spirit. Years later, though, after deciding to move from Hokkaido Island, where they lived, the family entrusted Okiku to the Manenji temple monks. The doll and Kikuko's spirit have remained at the temple ever since, drawing in the curious travelers who come to see the impossible flowing locks. If you listen to some variations of the doll's legacy, you'll hear that the hair that continues to grow has been tested and is scientifically proven to be real human hair. Next up, we have Peggy the doll. If you have an interest in scary stuff or dolls, you've probably already heard of Peggy, although I haven't, so you might have not heard it either. Arguably the most famous and sometimes heralded as the most evil of haunted dolls, this blonde-haired, blue-eyed doll kind of looks like an early version of an American Girl doll, but she's hardly as sweet as her childhood pals Kristen and Felicity. Apparently, Peggy is possessed and has a pretty serious effect on people. I've seen some sources that say she is possessed by a demon, but others say she is possessed by a woman who died in 1946 of a breathing issue such as asthma. One of her previous owners said that the entire time she owned Peggy and had her in her home, she had horrible nightmares, fevers, and hallucinations, and would wake up shaking and swearing. No matter where she moved the doll, she couldn't stop the issues, so she eventually ended up sending her away to a paranormal investigator who agreed to take her off her hands. But it isn't just one person who reported these problems. Lots of people who have associated with Peggy or have been around Peggy have reported that they had nightmares, been tormented by unseen forces, and oftentimes have felt physically sick, even going as far as being overcome by nausea and vomiting. The most serious and scary case is of a woman claiming that just a few minutes after she looked at Peggy, she actually had a heart attack, which she believes was caused by the doll itself. A lot of people even claim that Peggy can have this effect just from looking at pictures or videos of her on their phones, computers, or TV screens. Now, whether or not this is a form of mild hysteria or the power of suggestion, which was way more powerful than people think it is, and I don't know for sure. I looked at pictures and videos of the doll, and I haven't felt anything. Nothing weird or unexplainable has happened to me, so I don't know about that one, but I'll put some picture up for you guys and let's see what your reactions are. Next up we have Harold the Haunted Doll. Let's just get this out of the way right out of the bed. Harold looks a little gross. He almost looks a bit moldy. This doll has been through some stuff, no doubt about it. This particular toy baby has seen better days. This particular brand of deterioration and the fact that Harold's soft, once huggable torso remains permanently naked makes this doll just overall look really creepy. This creepy look made him the perfect eBay listing back in 2003 when he kind of kicked off the whole haunted dolls on eBay trend. A lot of people claim he's the first haunted doll to be sold on eBay, though I guess there's really no way to actually prove that. And people claim he has moved on his own, spoken, laughed, and threatened people. It's said that Harold is either haunted or cursed, and people report similar feelings as when they are around Peggy the doll. Nausea, chest pain, anxiety, general sickness, and overall being really creeped out and uncomfortable. Supposedly, one of the doll's previous owners was told by a priest that the doll is possessed and the only solution would be to burn it. But when he put it in a fire, it just wouldn't burn. Which I would really love to see proof of that, but I couldn't find anything. Could having been lit on fire in the past contribute to deterioration and the way he looks? Most likely. Harold's current owner has a self-published book about Harold and his haunted history, and Harold is also sometimes goes on trips to visit paranormal investigators and psychics or to be in television shows, so it doesn't really look like his spooky journey is ending anytime soon. Now our next topic is a little bit disconnected from haunted dolls, although I found it really interesting and decided to add it into the list. The Island of the Haunted Dolls. So Island of the Dolls, also known as Isla de las Muñecas, is a chinampa of the Laguna de Tequila located in the channels of I'm not even gonna pronounce that. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that. South of the center of Mexico City, Mexico. In the mid-20th century, Barrera began to collect dolls and hang them around a small island. The island gained notoriety in 1943 when Mexican director Emilio Fernandez used it as the location of the film Maria Candelaria. After Barrera's death in 2001, his family opened the island to the public as a tourist attraction. In addition to the hundreds of dolls, the grounds host tree huts and a small museum with articles found from local newspapers about both the island and the previous owner. In the one-room hut Barrera slept in, the first doll Barrera collected is displayed, as well as Agustina, his favorite doll. The legend goes, Barrera is said to have either come across the body of a girl floating in the canals or have failed to save her from drowning. The next day, Barrera found the doll drifting down the canal, believing it to belong to the girl. He hung the doll from a tree in her memory as a talisman to ward off evil spirits. It is sometimes claimed that Barrera found a second doll in the canal the next day. It is speculated that after her death, the young girl's spirit haunted the island, and to appease her, Barrera began scouring the trash and trading produce from his garden in exchange for more dolls. Evidence of the girl's existence has yet to be reported. In 2001, Barrera's nephew came to the island to help his uncle as they finished the canal. Barrera, then 80, sang passionately, claiming that mermaids in the water were calling for him. The nephew left briefly, and upon his return, found Barrera lifeless, face down in the canal, in the same spot where the girl was said to have drowned. Since the island became open to the public, there have been reports of the dolls moving their heads, arms, and opening their eyes. Visitors also claim to have heard the dolls whispering to each other. Visitors occasionally place offerings around the dolls in exchange for miracles and blessings. Some change the dolls' clothes and maintain the island as a form of worship. And with that, we have come to the end of my research. I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did. And like I said in the beginning, the topic was requested by one of my best friends. So if you guys would like to request any topics, comment them down below and I will make sure to check them out. And as for our next video and for the next episode, we will be talking about the Watcher, a paranormal being who watches you while you sleep, also requested by one of my friends. So thank you guys so much for watching.